You know those holiday memories you have that just stick with you? The ones that are about way more than whatever was actually under the tree? Well, this is one of those stories. It's all about family, a little bit of tradition, and this mysterious, almost magical transformation that happened every single December. This one quote, it just nails it, right? It perfectly sets the stage for the most fascinating person in this whole story, the narrator's mother. It captures a dynamic that, let's be honest, a lot of us can probably relate to. That bizarre, incredible shift in personality that can happen right around the holidays. So, what was going on here? What was the secret that turned her from a, quote, royal pain into the absolute master of Christmas magic year after year? The way the narrator puts it, it was like a switch flipped every single year. For 11 months, things could be a little tense, a little challenging, but once December 1st hit, she became this incredibly focused, loving person, completely devoted to creating these huge, unforgettable family moments. You could literally feel the whole vibe of the house change. And it all came down to this one person, her late aunt, Ma Ruth. The narrator's mom looked up to her as the perfect, most thoughtful aunt ever. So she made it her personal mission to live up to that ideal. And the holidays were her time to shine. And we are not talking about small stuff here. I mean, every year she created these massive, memorable experiences. Things like booking a room at a fancy hotel just so they could watch Christmas movies and go swimming in the pool in the middle of winter. Or, get this, renting a limo just to drive around and see the monuments in DC. These were truly grand gestures of love. Okay, so all of that is the backstory. And it all leads up to this one really unforgettable year when the narrator was 12. This is where a simple, mysterious box takes center stage and becomes the focus of the entire holiday. The thing that really gets the ball rolling is this simple but powerful image. A gigantic, mysterious present appears under the tree addressed to both him and his sister. Just the size of it was enough to make their minds race with possibilities. I mean, what on earth could be inside? Now, you gotta understand, the unboxing itself was this whole production designed to stretch out the suspense. This wasn't your typical rip the paper off in 2 seconds kind of present. Oh no. They had to go through layer after layer of tissue paper, and with each layer, they'd find little candies in their favorite colors, pink for his sister, green for him, and they had to read these little personal notes out loud. So after all that buildup, the candy, the notes, the layers of paper, the big question was still hanging in the air. They finally get to a smaller box at the very, very bottom. What was it? The camera's out, ready to capture the big moment. Their mom announces it's time for the final reveal. I mean, you can just imagine the anticipation in that room. And it was the absolute perfect gift. It's such a great reminder that the best presents aren't about how much they cost, but about really, truly knowing what someone wants. See, their old VCR had been busted for years, and they were huge movie fans. This one simple machine meant their entire movie collection was about to come back to life. And the reaction was just pure, chaotic joy. His little sister, who's wearing this pink Barbie onesie, is literally jumping up and down. He's standing there in his NASCAR pajamas, totally stoked. And right there is their mom, camera in hand, capturing this perfect, messy, real family moment. But you know how it is, right? A perfect family moment, it can't last forever. Sure enough, the joy of the new gift immediately kicks off the very first argument. So what was the fight about? The first movie choice, of course. His sister immediately demands to watch her favorite movie, a film the narrator absolutely could not stand. In fact, he hated it so much that he'd actually sabotaged the old VHS tape just so he would never have to watch it again. And this is where their mom, who is just brilliant, has this amazing moment. She holds up a brand new DVD version of that same terrible movie, looks right at her son, and says with this little smirk, "Don't let it have an accident." She knew. She knew exactly what he'd done to the last one. And yet, despite the very clear warning, what do you think happened? That's right, the brand new DVD, it just sort of vanished. The narrator likes to think it disappeared all on its own, but, well, we can probably draw our own conclusions on that one. So this whole funny little side story, it actually brings us right to the heart of what this is all about. It was never really about the DVD player or even the disappearing movie. It was about what the whole experience actually meant.
It's only later, looking back as an adult, that the narrator really gets it. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The physical thing, the player, it was just the container for something way, way more valuable. And that's it, right there. That's the core takeaway. The real gift was his mother's thoughtfulness. It was the whole ritual of opening the box, the shared laughter, the memory of his sister jumping around in her onesie, and yeah, even the silly fight over a movie. That was the real present.
And that really just leaves one last thing to think about for all of us. When you look back at your own favorite gifts, it's rarely about what you got, right? It's about how it made you feel and who you shared that moment with. So, what's the story, the feeling, the memory that turned some simple object into something you'll never forget?